going to talk to you about pitch. Pitch is one of the basic elements of music. Pitch is defined as the highness and the lowness of sound. There's an indefinite pitch and there's a definite pitch. Indefinite pitch is a blurred sound like a baby's cry or a bass drum. Definite pitch has a center to the tone. Pitch itself is created by vibrations in the sound. So the higher, or faster I should say, the frequency of the vibration, the higher the pitch. The slower the vibration, the lower the pitch. In music, we notate the pitch on a staff system. A staff is a group of 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each one of these lines and spaces is assigned a specific letter name. We have a musical alphabet that goes A through G and keeps repeating itself. If you go forward in the staff, up the staff like a ladder, you're going forward, you're going ahead in the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you're going down the staff or backwards, you're going backwards in the alphabet. So you have G, F, E, D, C, and so forth. Each one of these lines and spaces has a name, and you can tell it the name by using the clef. So on the staff, there's a clef in the front of it, and this right here is called a treble clef. A treble clef is used for the higher pitches, so whether it's a soprano, an alto, or a flute, or a clarinet. So treble signifies higher pitch. On the treble clef, the loop goes around the second line. Because of that, it's also called a G clef, so a treble clef or a G clef. And it's called a G clef because the note that loop goes around is a G. If you know your musical alphabet, you can figure out any single note on the staff based upon this G. So if I'm going up the staff, I'm going forward in my alphabet. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If I'm going down the staff, I'm going backwards. So G, F, E, D. This is the bass clef. The bass clef is for the lower pitched instruments or vocalists. So a bass uses a bass clef, a trombone, a tuba, instruments that are lower in pitch traditionally. It's also called an F clef because there are 2 dots, and the 2 dots are based around the F pitch. That second line from the top. So again, following my protocol, if I go up the staff, I'm going forward. So I have F, G, A, B. If I'm going down the staff, I'm going backwards in my alphabet. So if this is F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F. Now obviously, there are more pitches available to us than what are on our staff. So if we want to extend the staff and make it bigger, we're going to add something called a ledger line. So a ledger line extends the staff. So if I want to go above my staff and I know that G is here, if I add 1 ledger line, it's just a short line, then I know the next note is A. If I then have the space above that ledger line, I have B. If I have 2 ledger lines, that would be a C. If I have the space above 2 ledger lines, that's a D, so forth and so on. So if I look at my bass clef and I want to go below my F, 1 ledger line would be an E, the space below would be a D, 2 lines would be a C, space below would be a B. There's one note that's very, very important to our musical notation, because if I'm following up my staff here, F, G, A, I need a ledger line for C. If I'm going down my staff, G, F, E, D, C. This C right here is called middle C. And it's called middle C because it connects the treble and the bass clef together. Very important. If I put my treble clef and my bass clef together and I connect it with this bracket, it's called a grand staff. Pianists use both staffs at the same time in the grand staff format. This is the easiest way to be able to recognize your lines and spaces, is simply know your alphabet, know this is a G, and know that's an F. Some people like mnemonic devices. So if you want to break it down into just the lines of each staff, on the treble clef, if I brought my lines in order, I'd have an E, G, B, D, F. If I can remember, every good boy deserves fudge. I can always remember my lines of the treble clef. My spaces spell the word face. That doesn't work for bass clef though. So bass clef, if I isolate my lines, I have G, B, D, F, A. So I'm dropping the every, good boys deserve fudge, and adding an always. And for my spaces, all cows eat grass. Again, the easiest way is just remember this is a G, I know my alphabet and I can go in order. But this is a nice, easy, quick reference. So to pass your first competency, you have to prove to me that you can read or identify the notes on the staff, and you can write out a note on the staff. So when you're ready, come see me and I will give you a test. Good luck.